Previously on the Rings of Power.
Disa, we're here on orders from the king, so please move.
How fares your progress?
I've had quite enough of you telling me where I belong!
Our town is under siege.
That's right, we have finally arrived at the penultimate episode. We begin on battered wife Celebrimbor as he enjoys his morning tea. Ah, what a beautiful day. To be insane. What's this? Celebrimbor gets 2 scoops of not methrol. As he nears the completion of the 9, he starts to notice that something's different.
Something's missing.
This guy?
Hello, Mr. Mouse.
Oh wow, he's just like me for real.
The floor is hardly the place for the greatest of Elven smiths.
These past weeks, I have felt such clarity.
How fares your progress?
The rings of power are nearly complete. What is another few days to perfect something that shall last forever?
Apparently, Celebrimbor has been crafting these rings for weeks, while the orcs have been sieging the city, but apparently they haven't aimed at the tallest and most important building in the city. So yeah, there's plenty of time for a few more days to finish off this little project. It was Sauron's plan to bring the orcs here for some reason, I guess just to put a ticking clock on the episode.
Not a great plan.
And while it has been fun to shoot the city from afar, Adar decides that the town has been leveled enough, so he enacts his secret plan.
What is it?
The siege engines. They've gone silent.
Turning them away from the city.
Prepare for ground assault.
They're damming the river.
How could they possibly know that this would work? But it does somehow, because they aimed for and hit the Instagram spot rock that starts a chain reaction, which immediately and perfectly dams the river, and there's no spillage or trickles. It's just a perfect seal, and the river instantly drains. It took 4 rocks to level the cliff. Why didn't they do this sooner? How bloody convenient. Celebrimbor then begins to experience some deja vu and suspects he's really in the Matrix. So he sets up a little test to catch Sauron later on. The dwarf king has been able to move 2 dwarves from preventing his mining operation, so he decides to send in the big guns. But faced with hearing Disa's singing again, they decide to surrender. Well, you can't blame them for that. Elrond has teleported to Khazad-dûm, and it's the first time he's seen his boyfriend since he was thrown out of the kingdom last season. And just like every time Elrond talks to his bosom friend Durin, he has come to ask for another big favor. Fortunately for him though, Durin is looking for any excuse to escape from his wife, and immediately agrees to go fight and hopefully die at the hands of the orcs. Speaking of, back to the boys, and it's work time. Loose arrows, they're already firing, bro. Look, this dude's just trying to look busy because the boss is watching, isn't he? Lucky for the orcs that the sun isn't out today, or did they completely forget about that from season 1? You be the judge.
I used to be an adventurer like you, and I took an arrow in the knee.
Celebrimbor has finally noticed the glitches in the Matrix.
The rings. Are they finished?
Wait for it.
Wait for what? Captivating.
Because Sauron's mind control is playing on loop like it's some sort of tape from a movie where a bus couldn't go under a certain speed, and if that bus's speed slows down, it would explode.
I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down.
Do you not see a cycle repeating itself at intervals throughout the day? And there is more repeating itself at intervals. Look, the candle has not burned an inch all day. Repeating itself at intervals.
He finally realizes that he's been getting roofied all this time. But I mean, just look at the way he dresses.
You practically begged for it.
Oh, what have you done to me?
I gave it to you.
But enough is enough, and he has listened to just the right amount of podcasts to be able to escape the Matrix, only to realize that
The Mithra. True creation requires sacrifice.
Wow, what a twist.
Not really.
Oh, look at the puppy.
I thought you were dead.
I was!
Seize him. He is Sauron.
Seize him! Get your hands off me! No! That's gotta hurt!
Finish the 9, and I will spare your city.
Is no one else listening to this? There are a lot of conversations in this show that people just don't seem to hear, in which very important things are said. Really quite unfortunate that people just aren't a little bit more observant. But not so fast, Sauron, as the elves have arrived. Wait, I thought Gilgadaddy said that they couldn't do this. I mean, I said that was stupid because clearly they can, and they did. But did the showrunners forget that they said that? Oh look, it's the gnome girl. I'll just point out here that it is awfully convenient that the orcs are fighting in the shade when they literally melt in the sun. So I guess it's a great idea to charge them and engage them on their own terms. You know, instead of perhaps using your superior elven arrow abilities to shoot them from afar. What the actual? The sun is right there. If the wind even changes slightly and blows the clouds away, the orc army will just die right here.
Oh, how convenient!
But just as the elves charge to get into glorious melee combat, the orcs unleash their secret weapon.
Brother, what's that?
If the elves attack, they're going to set Galadriel free, and then they'll have to listen to her again.
There's a tempest in me.
So Elrond decides to hold the charge.
If she speaks again, cut out her tongue. Yes! You will fall.
Not before you have painted the sands of the Glanduin black with the blood of your kin. Are you prepared to spend their lives so freely? Are they?
What is going on in this discussion? Are the elves the real cold-blooded murderers here that are willing to die more so than the orcs?
Galadriel.
Are we the baddies?
Elrond removes his clasp, and Glug decides not to report this because he just wants to grill for God's sake. I mean, he does have kids to feed after all. And then this happens. Where did this come from? Right on the lips too. Isn't she like his mother-in-law or something? Now I thought this might make sense at first if he was sneaking the ring into her mouth like they were passing chewing gum so that she could use its power to escape, but he actually passes her the skeleton key pin from his cloak here, so I guess this was just because he wanted a little bit of a taste? I mean, she's married, dude. What about her husband, Celeborn? Or to use his real name, Teleporno. Elrond and friend then discuss their plans right in front of the orcs, who they assume don't speak Elvish, and there's really no reason to make this assumption because they used to be orcs, and their leader speaks Elvish.
Not a great plan.
Durin then raises morale for the dwarf boys, and they are big ready to go fight the orcs, but Dad doesn't nearly have enough gold. So he decides that he's going to go work the mines for himself. I mean, even if you do have a really good paying job like being king, and you're imposing an 100% tax on your people and a 50% tax on all other dwarven kingdoms, there's really nothing wrong with having a little side hustle, especially in this economy, am I right?
That's gotta hurt!
Wait a second, it was sunny there for a second. How are the orcs fighting at all? And then it's not sunny here, and then it's sunny again. But Elrond was too busy wounding adventurers in the knee, and his horse gets got.
That's my horse!
Which means that this orc has to die. Good job, wait, what? No, Elrond, don't. That trebuchet is pointing straight to Eregion. Elrond, no, there are innocent elves in that city. No, Elrond!
You're fired.
So Elrond just straight up committed a war crime here, right? I mean, why wouldn't the writers just do this scene on one of the trebuchets that was pointed at the mountain that they used earlier? But I guess nobody cares about this because pony. Now I'm going to make a classic mistake here because I know how much the internet cares about animals, and with that knowledge I will make the unpopular claim that horse lives are not equal to people lives or indeed elven lives. Just because the pony died does not make it okay that Elrond launches rock shrapnel into the innocent elven city.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
But no time to think about this rationally as the orcs are taking down the wall. And look at this one, he's got a cute little umbrella. Isn't that sweet? It's really unfortunate the elves don't have any counter-siege weapons or boiling oil to pour on them. In fact, they don't seem to have any defenses except for bows at all. Oh well. But tension reaches an apex as Glug bears his emotions.
Shall we sound the retreat?
No. Sauron must not escape at any cost.
Adar!
Nam Kibakai, Kinam Shubakai.
So what, you're just gonna dump me? Just like that?
You knew what this was.
Adar rushes to his tent, but Galadriel has escaped. Wow, I bet you feel pretty dumb since you saw Elrond take off that pin, huh? But fortunately, her actor is actually short enough to pass for an orc, so this kind of works. Oh, come on now, but you can see her hair coming out of the hood. Come on, hun, at least tie it up in a bun. We know how much their show cares about hair, more than plot anyway.
Look at that pretty hair.
Told you so.
Dumb bitch.
What in the actual fuck? Arondir is the one to save her, not, say, Elrond or anyone else that was in on the plan when they gave her the skeleton key brooch? The dwarves are ready to reinforce the elves, and you know what? I actually do like Durin's armor here. But oh no, the king's just gots to mine.
He's gonna dig. He's gonna loose that beast.
Why?
So he's killed all of the guards and potentially his daughter-in-law.
Disa, I don't know.
So it's time to recall the entire army because the king is going to unleash the Balrog.
That doesn't make sense.
You must know it pains me, treating you
Like you've treated countless others.
like Morgoth treated me.
Oh no, poor Sauron's dad beat him, so he hits his wife Celebrimbor. But you made me do it, boy. Didn't I make you strong? Celebrimbor is now also chained up so he can't escape, which doesn't make a lot of sense since he is the greatest of all elven smiths and he's in a forge with metalworking tools. So if there was one person in the entire Middle-earth that could break out of this, it's literally him. But our battered wife has had enough and he's finally ready to leave Sauron. And he's also going to take the kids, by which I mean rings, with him. Once he's freed himself from this chain, of course. Maybe you could use the tools to unlock yourself? Nope, the hammer didn't work after 3 seconds. I guess you better just cut off your thumb, why not?
That's gotta hurt!
Also, can't the rings, like, heal people anyway? So why not just slip them all on and use their power? I mean, he's got 9 rangs, and he's got 9 fingers, but I guess these are spooky evil blood rings anyway.
Release him.
But the Lord of Eregion ordered...
This is the Lord of Eregion.
It was my fault.
No.
No, it wasn't your fault. It was Galadriel. It was all her fault. If Galadriel had just gone to the Undying Lands, then Sauron would have never come to Middle-earth. He would have just retired in Numenor. Literally all the events in this show hinge on Galadriel interfering and ruining everything. She's actually behind everything going wrong in this entire show. It's insane.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Hurry. The old Dwarven tunnel. I used it to enter the city undetected.
Secret tunnels? You mean to tell me that they could have sent out messengers calling for help, reinforcements, or just evacuate earlier, but they didn't because the tunnels only teleported into the foundation of the city when Galadriel had need of them.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
Our enemy will not breach that wall. A single arrow from you may yet turn the tide.
Phew.
Huh, I wonder why none of the entire city of elven archers thought about trying this a bit earlier. No. No, not the gnome girl. I'm so invested in her from that time she just shrunk into the background. But even with all this losing, the elves are doing much too well, which means...
Send him in.
You know, I'm starting to get a bad feeling about Glug. I think he's going to try and be a hero and then get killed by Adar. I mean, he's just thinking of his family. Come on, man. He just wants to grill, for God's sake.
It's the double chunk chocolate cookie. That's a ba-ba-ba-boom!
Oh no, not one unarmored troll. Those things have never been killed by elves before.
You Sauron are hereby...
Hey, you know what? That's a neat trick. It's a shame that Sauron didn't try that when he was being stabbed by a handful of orcs at the start of the season. But it's time to bite the pillow, Eregion, because Damrod is going in dry.
I fell and hurt my tummy. Hawk!
Oh, would you look at that? The sun's coming up. Well, I guess that means the orcs have to retreat, right?
The dwarves are coming! Look to the north!
Durin recalled their army.
No, Must be some mistake. Durin will come.
Now that's what I call awkward.
Get out.
But I do kind of appreciate that the one thing they didn't steal in this show was the army arriving at dawn to save the day. Consider my expectations subverted. But at least they did last until the day, so they're going to be safe anyway. No, they can't just go into the sun. This is a rule that you set for your own show in season 1. You even remembered it in this episode up until now, regardless of how dumb that line of shadow was over their army. I mean, look at them. They're not even wearing hats. At least slip, slap, slop on some sunscreen. What utter garbage slopper. So why exactly did Elrond bring the ring to the battle anyway? He doesn't believe in their power, so he's not going to put it on. And in fact, he thinks that they influence people anyway, so surely he would have left this in Eregion. So why exactly would he bring Galadriel's ring, Nenya, to the battlefield? Nenya business, that's why.
Yeah, boy.